Hello and welcome back. I have a video, but it has nothing to do with minimalism. It is a curriculum haul, what we're doing for first grade and third grade. My oldest is going into third grade. My youngest is going to be a first grader, and we're switching things up next year. They did a homeschool co-op hybrid type situation this year. They went to school on Tuesdays and Thursdays and had an actual teacher, and then I homeschooled Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and we primarily used the Abeka curriculum. They did Abeka at school, and then we did Abeka at home. Everybody was on the same page. That became a little too expensive, and so we finished off the school year, but I do not think that we are re-enrolling for next year. I will do an updated video on that when we kind of figure out what we're doing. Anyways, I'm going to talk today about what curriculum we chose. I'm not going to get into why we chose this philosophy of education. That's a whole long rant. But if you're interested, I will leave the podcast from the company that I bought from down below. It's called Classical Etc. I love the podcast. It's a great podcast. They have it on YouTube. I would assume they have it on other podcast platforms, but it really solidified my decision to choose a classical education. And so today we are going to talk about what I chose. And so first of all, we're going to talk about first grade. Now, here's a caveat for first grade. I chose Memoria Press, but for first grade, we went with the Simply Classical curriculum. It's not the first grade, the full-fledged first grade that you'll see with the third grade. It's a little bit different than third grade. Like the third grade manual looks like this. Typically, if you go with the traditional regular first grade, it would say first grade right here and have something similar. This is Simply Classical. It's traditionally for ADHD, autism, dyslexia. If you have any type of learning disability, it's a gentler approach to a classical education. My 6-year-old is going into first grade and she has none of those that I'm aware of. But I did notice with kindergarten, with Abeka, it was a big transition going from really no formal schooling to that much writing and reading and math. And so I don't want to make her hate classical education. So I just really wanted a gentle introduction to classical education. And with Memoria Press, they will tell you that the biggest leap in elementary school is from second grade to third grade. That's the biggest leap. So we're gonna ease in with the Simply Classical curriculum. It's a little bit less than what the full-fledged first grade curriculum is, but still uses a lot of similar things, just less. And so you can kind of see what the inside looks like. So this is kind of what the curriculum manual looks like. It tells you everything you need to do for that day. And then the regular curriculum manuals don't have this. On this side, you actually have teacher notes, which is kind of cool. So this is the teacher curriculum manual, which I love these. I love curriculums that tell you what to do. I'm just not that person that is going to use an Excel spreadsheet and schedule every little thing. I love teacher's manuals and, teacher guides. So the first thing that comes with the first grade Simply Classical curriculum, again, from Memoria Press, we have read alouds. So the first book is I Can Read It, book 2. We did Sunlight for my daughter for first grade, and these were in there, and they actually work really well. So we have this. And then for Bible, it's A Child's Garden of Bible Stories. So very short. And then another book that we have is At the Farm. The next one is Blueberries for Sal. Just kind of showing you the insides. Little Bear's Visit. Little Bear. And the last one is Caps for Sale. I think you actually get this in the kindergarten curriculum, but they have these things called user add-ons. So if you're coming in second grade, third grade, first grade, whenever, they have a new user add-on. And so this came in the new user add-on, and this is classical phonics. And inside it's just a bunch of words that they should master. So classical phonics. The next thing on my pile is cursive. So I know with the school that they went to this year, they actually don't start cursive until third grade. In classical Memoria Press, I don't know if this is all classical or if it's just specific to Memoria Press, but they start cursive in first grade. So this is the main cursive workbook. And then it also comes with cursive practice sheets. And my 6-year-old surprisingly has really good handwriting and really good pencil grip. My third grader, going into third grade, her pencil grip has been a struggle. So if you're new to homeschooling or if your child is new to school, I highly suggest fixing the pencil grip early on, because if they get in the habit of bad pencil grip, it's really, really hard to break. So I don't think she's gonna have a struggle with cursive. Next is the Simply Classical Writing Step-by-Step Sentences. So that's what that looks like. Another thing that I love about Memoria Press is it's not overwhelming. So with a lot of curriculums, there's a lot of color, a lot of pictures, a lot of just all over the page. And my 8-year-old actually doesn't like that at all. She prefers just the black and white, and then once she's done, she doesn't mind coloring it. But I think it's visually overwhelming sometimes, and for some kids. And then we have a Simply Classical copybook. Something else about Memoria Press is the Bible is all KJV. I don't think that this is a KJV only company. I am not KJV only. However, the language of the KJV sets them up for books that they need to read later on, and just getting used to that language structure and language type, which not language that we use anymore. So all of the copy work for Bible and the Bible stories are all going to be in KJV. The next thing is the Simply Classical Storytime Treasures. Some of those books that I showed go along with this book. This is the teacher guide, and then this is the student guide. And you can kind of just see. So there'll be some questions and what else? Composition, so reviewing what a noun, what a verb, what an adjective is, all of that good stuff. Next is math. So we did the first half of this book at home, transitioning her into the rote memorization type of math, which is not what Abeka is. So this is workbook 2, and this is for the Simply Classical for first grade. And so it's lessons 86 through 170. So we've been working on the workbook 1 this year. So that's that. And then this is the teacher's manual for workbook 1 and workbook 2. And so inside it just gives you all of the answers and tells you what to do. Next is spelling. So this is her spelling book for next year, which again, I love it. I love this curriculum so much. And then finally, the last thing for first grade, besides the flashcards, which I will show, is her phonics book. And it says it's for grade 2. I don't really know. This seems about on level for her. So that's the phonics. The plan is for next year, when she goes into second grade, is to get the full second grade curriculum. Again, this is just to ease her in, because I feel like if I overwhelm her with all of the things, she's just gonna shut down and not wanna do any of it. So slow and steady wins the race. That's what Dave Ramsey taught me. And then the other two things that came with this are the phonics flashcards. Again, if you start in kindergarten, I believe you already have these, but we did not start in kindergarten. And then grade 1 math flashcards. Okay, so moving on to 3rd grade. And if you do go listen to the podcast, which again, I'll link below, believe them when they say that the jump from 2nd grade to 3rd grade is intense. So what we've been doing this year is I actually did purchase the Prima Latina, which they start in 2nd grade, and we've been working through that, and we're going to continue working through that over the summer. I also purchased the 2nd grade arithmetic, which we've been working on in addition to Abeka, and we're going to finish over the summer in English composition. So those 3 things we've been working on, and we're going to continue working on over the summer. But 3rd grade is no joke, guys. So buckle up. Here we go. The first thing is Adventures in Writing, IEW. It is just a writing curriculum, and she's super excited about this because she loves to write. And the 3rd grade curriculum manual looks like this, which is what the traditional 1st grade manual would look like. I also want to point out that we did not buy every single thing. We bought the core curriculum. So we don't have the read alouds, and then we don't have the American studies. We do have the mammals and the states and capitals, but we did not buy everything. If it was an additional add-on, we didn't buy it. Because listen, we can't do everything, especially not the first year of like full-fledged classical curriculum. Again, trying not to overwhelm myself and trying not to overwhelm my children, but still into a classical education, because I think that's just where the most fruit is going to be produced. So first thing is English, grammar, and resuscitation. So here is the student workbook. That's what it looks like. And the teacher guide, the handbook, which I really love this. So this, you are memorizing a bunch of things. So like, what is a sentence? What are the 2 parts of every sentence? What is a subject? What is a predicate? And you just memorize these things. And I love this because I never memorized anything in school, and I went to a traditional public school. So the fact that we get to memorize these, and I get to memorize along with my children, I love it so much. Next, we're gonna move on to math. So the first thing I have are the tests for grade 3. And then I have practice sheets and patterns, which I haven't opened yet, so I'm not entirely sure what all is in here, but here's the back. Next, I have Memoria math notebook squares, and it's just literally a notebook. That's all it is. Here is the student workbook for grade 3. I don't know if for this one they want the student to write it on separate pieces of paper or if they want them to work in the book, but I think I'm gonna have my 3rd grader work in the book. If it doesn't work out, then I'll transition to her copying it on paper, but I'm pretty sure that they say that 3rd grade is the last grade to copy in the workbook. Teacher's manual. And along with those, you get multiplication flashcards and division flashcards. 3rd grade comes with a lot of flashcards. Next, we are going into Latin. So you have the student workbook, games and puzzles answer key, games and puzzles. My daughter is really, really excited about the games and puzzles. She loves this stuff, so. And then review worksheets. Review worksheets teacher key. And the Latina Cristiana teacher manual. Along with this, you also will either have to get these cards in the user add-on, or if you started in 2nd grade with Latin, you'll already have these. So these are the ones that I will need For the current Prima Latina, there are more. I just separated these out for second grade because it's a whole big stack. Let me just show you. So these all together are the Latin flashcards. I just separated out the ones that we need for Prima Latina so that we can practice them now and over the summer. But these are all of them. Oh, and one thing I forgot, English grammar also comes with a block of flashcards. If you're not a flashcard fan, I don't think classical curriculum will be for you because there is a lot of rote memorization. Oh, and a second teacher's manual book. Sorry, there's a lot of stuff. Next, we're gonna move on to the read alouds that we do for third grade. First is gonna be Farmer Boy, so you get your book. We read Little House in the Big Woods in second grade, so we're moving on to Farmer Boy. And then you have the student guide and the teacher guide. We did not do the student guide for Little House in the Big Woods. We are just reading it just to get used to the general storyline and to Laura Ingalls Wilder, but we are gonna do the student guides next year. Next is Charlotte's Web, which I think her teacher at co-op actually read this book last year in co-op, but we are gonna read it again for third grade. And again, it comes with the teacher's guide and the student guide. And then last for the read alouds, the Moffats, and obviously the teacher guide and the student guide. And another book that we got with the third grade was The Best Christmas Pageant Ever, which obviously would probably be done around Christmas time. Moving on, we're gonna do poetry. So you have this, which just has all of the poems inside. And then you have the poetry student guide and the poetry for the grammar stage. Okay, next in my pile, and I'm not going in a particular order, I'm just basically going how I pulled it off of our homeschool cabinet, which I can kind of give an overview at the end. So if you want to see where I store all of our homeschool stuff, stick around till the end. Next on the list is the timeline. So this is the handbook. And then you have timeline cards, which I have not opened yet, or I would show you. We have, of course, you knew it, timeline flashcards, and a timeline, a composition, and a sketchbook. Next is what my husband was most excited about. We are doing Greek myths starting in third grade. And I would be lying if I said I wasn't excited about this too, but my husband loves Greek myths. So we're doing Greek myths. This is the student guide, the teacher manual, and the flashcards. Next is the Bible curriculum. Starting in third grade, they use the Golden Children's Bible. And I believe this is in KJV, I believe. It's not the full Bible, it's just the stories, but I believe the language is in the KJV so that memorization is also in the KJV. Then you have your student guide for Christian studies, your teacher manual. Something else I forgot to point out earlier, we also did start working on cursive in second grade with our 8-year-old. So next year she will do scripture and lessons on manners for cursive. And this is a page of what it looks like. And then we have traditional spelling. This is the teacher manual and the student workbook, and she's most excited about this being pink. So that's kind of what spelling looks like. And then we also have practice sheets. Our last two things, science and then states and capitals. So for science, this year is all about mammals. So we have the What is the Animal Kingdom book. What is a mammal book? Mammals student workbook. Mammals teacher guide. And the world of mammals, which is really colorful on the inside. And then we are also doing all of the states and capitals. I don't think they learn them all in 3rd grade. I think this expands. I don't know if it goes 3rd and 4th or 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Maybe it's all in 3rd, but I don't think so. I don't know. If you know, you can comment down below. The first thing is the Don't Know Much About the 50 States, which is just a book, and it has all of these neat facts about each state. States and capitals student workbook. States and capitals teacher key for quizzes and tests. States and capitals flashcards. Ooh, and I forgot this. This was going back to the Christian studies. Memory verse flashcards. Anyways, that's it for the curriculum. It's a lot, especially in 3rd grade, but we have been diligently working with our daughter who's in 2nd grade to prepare her for what's coming. If you're gonna start in like 2nd or 3rd or 4th, I would highly recommend taking the summer and just start implementing some of the curriculum so that it's not just totally overwhelming when they do start. And you can kind of see why I'm easing my 1st grader into classical education. It can be a lot, but I just feel like it's so rewarding. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'm gonna turn you around and show you our homeschool setup. Okay, so for those who want to know, we do not have a fancy homeschool setup at all. This is actually our dining room. That's our whiteboard, which gets colored on a lot when we're not using it. We have a high chair, and then this is from IKEA, and this is where we homeschool. Nothing fancy. You do not have to have your own homeschooling room to homeschool. So I've already shown you all of this stuff. The only thing I didn't show was from about here over for kindergarten. This was kindergarten stuff that we implemented this year for our kindergartner who's going into 1st grade, so that next year is not overwhelming for her. So 1st grader stuff, 3rd grader stuff. This drawer is flashcards, some flashcards for our going into 1st grader, and then the markers, pencils, and dry erase board, eraser. This drawer has the books, and this drawer has the states and capitals and the mammals. And then down here, I just kind of keep some extra things. This is the curriculum that we're working on over the summer with our 2nd grader, soon to be 3rd grader, to ease her into 3rd grade with a classical curriculum. This is just stuff that I could not fit for 3rd grade up here. So the first book that you read is Farmer Boy. So as soon as we finish that and we start on another one, I'll just rotate them out. But this is just stuff that I couldn't fit. And then down here is just board games. But that's our homeschool setup. Anyways, I hope you liked today's video. Comment down below, let me know what curriculum you're choosing for next year, and I will see you in the next video.